All right, welcome to Sin's Reality, second episode. We have a couple guests here tonight. I'm gonna do an intro quickly. So you're gonna tell me age, name, occupation, and if you're single or not.
Okay, my name is Jennifer. I am 29 years old and I work in customer service and I'm single.
Cool. I'm Simul. I am 30 years old. I am taken and I do operations management.
I'm Emma. I'm 25 years old. I'm into modeling and acting, and I am single.
It's your boy Ace, 40, and status is to be determined. I'm an entrepreneur. I run several businesses, and I am a proponent in the crypto industry.
Cool. So we have a lot of single girls here tonight, then, eh?
Oh, yeah.
What's the reason for being single?
That's a good question. I just haven't met anyone that I feel like is going to be potential husband and the father of my kids. That's why, for me.
Okay, what about you?
I said I'm taken.
Okay, but you said you were single, no?
No, I said I'm taken.
Oh, okay. So you're happy
Yeah.
happy
It's
relationship?
still taken.
Okay. Yeah. Emma?
I don't know, as cliche as it sounds, I'm focusing on myself until I meet like that masculine alpha guy who will inspire my feminine energy. And honestly, as crazy as that sounds, I don't know, I want to take the time to just be by myself until I can get that.
All right. And Ace, yourself? Are you single again?
What was that, sorry?
Why are you single?
Oh, I mean, I wouldn't put a label on it. Like I said, it's to be determined. I like to think of myself as a bit of an enigma, a mystery wrapped in a puzzle. So, like, I mean, I can't really put a stamp on it like that. I'm a little bit eccentric in that sense.
True.
Okay.
All right. So, what do you think the issues are today with men? Which is why I'm sure some of you are single. Can you list a few reasons why you think men are not ideal today?
They all cheat.
But hold on, like, in what sense? Okay, but in one sense, do they all cheat? Because like, people throw the word cheating like it's crazy. Like it's like you could talk to a girl and it's like that's fucking cheating.
No, I wouldn't consider that. But they say if a man, if he provides everything for a woman, they're gonna have to accept the other side of it, whereas then they're going to cheat.
Yeah, and are you okay with that?
Am I okay with that? No, but at the same time, I feel like if a man is really in love with someone, I feel like men who cheat, they're not truly in love with their woman, because if there's always going to be temptations. This is the way I go two ways with it. I feel like there's always going to be temptations in life, but if you give into those temptations, if you really love someone, you're not going to give into it.
Okay, so I'm gonna give you a reality check. So that's actually not how it works. Men, you can love somebody. A man can love a woman.
Oh, here we go. I'm ready for this.
Unconditionally.
I'm ready for this.
But they can fuck a bunch of girls
Yeah,
and not care about
100%.
those other girls.
100%.
Men in general, especially high value men, don't really value something like, hey, like, why would I stay with one chick when I got multiple different chicks? That doesn't mean I don't love you.
Okay, but what does multiple chicks do for you though? Like, are you that like, if you just want to fuck a girl, just go. Sorry, just like if you just need to come, just fuck your woman. It doesn't make sense. What is multiple women doing for you? Is it like an ego thing? Is it like, because like me, I could love someone, but okay, I understand it's different, guys and girls. Girls, it's a bad luck, fucking everything. But at the same time, okay, I have to be careful.
But here's what I'm trying to say is this. Okay, so men like variety.
Yes.
Okay, we just like variety. You can have the hottest chick, and you can still bang a chick that's like, I don't know, 3, 4 out of 10. That's just how men are hardwired and how they're biologically hardwired, and that's just how it's always gonna be.
Yes.
Men just want variety. And the thing is that for any guy, so if any girl think that like guys don't cheat, that's not true. All guys cheat. That's true. All guys cheat in some sort of form or way. Even in the sense of like pornography, that's kind of cheating in some sense as well. Because if you think about it, you're jerking off to like an image of another girl. Do you don't think that's some sort of form of cheating?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Is well, like what's the difference? Like let me give you another example. If he buys a sex doll, is that cheating?
Why would he need to buy that? There's
Because
something lacking in the relationship in order for him to go out, spend money, spend his resources on a plastic doll. Like, why don't you
because
guys take her
men
out on a date first?
because men biologically are meant to plant as many seeds as possible.
Yeah.
So when you actually look at stuff in the 1500s, 1600s, 1700s, 1800s, in all religions, especially like in something like Islam, the man had multiple wives.
Yeah.
And that's how it's always been. It's only modern day society, the Western world, where things have changed. Where you're like, you have a man and a woman, one monogamous, couple, right? That's how things have been in the modern day era. But back then, it was a man would have multiple wives, multiple women that they would sleep with, and that's just how it's always been. Men are just biologically hardwired to do that.
But we're biologically hardwired to bond with our mate with estrogen. It bonds us through cuddling and oxytocin once it's released.
But you have a certain day that you cuddle. It's like
Big
you
fan of
got to be
cuddling,
like
big
wife
fan.
1, wife 2, wife 3. You get it like Thursday or Friday. But that's just honestly. But that's just honestly how it is. Because here's the thing. Okay, so let me ask you a question then. If you had a man that took care of you all needs, like like he's taking you on private jets, like he got you for everything, like Bugatti, you have the house, you have like an ideal like lifestyle. But he goes around occasionally, he bangs another girl, whatever it is, and then he and
Okay, right.
I wouldn't allow that. Personally, I wouldn't.
I would.
Fair.
I would.
yeah. So you wouldn't want like like a guy that's that high caliber.
No.
But what type of guy are you ideally looking for then? Like, what's your ideal man that you want? Like everything,
Best friend, loyal kind of guy, and I know.
not
he
personality, not personality. Like, I mean, okay, do you want a guy that makes 100K or more, or makes
Ideally,
makes the same amount of income or greater than you?
Yeah, I definitely want him to be a provider for
You
sure.
want a guy that's 6 foot
No. I
or
don't need
someone
that.
that's taller than you?
Taller than me. Number
Okay.
one. Yes.
Do you want a guy that's stronger than you?
Yes.
So if you actually look at, there's actually a calculator that you can actually check online where it's like, it's basically a calculator that kind of like describe the percentage of how many men are out there that you're looking for. If you actually search up men who are 6 feet, make 100K, and are like age 30 or 40, it's 0.01%. No, I'm not even joking. You can actually search
That's
it up.
actually true. Yeah.
It's 0.01%.
Men don't exist.
And you throw an alpha as well, then it's like even slimmer.
And so, are you in
Yeah.
a position where, let's say, you do have a guy that you meet, and he is, someone that you want? Are you in a position of being submissive to that guy, or do you want to be still the alpha woman in the relationship?
No, I don't want to be the alpha woman. I want to be able to submit to my guy, but he has to. I honestly, like, as a feminine woman, I have to inspire him and bring that out in him. Like, you can have an alpha guy and already be established and whatnot, but in order to have that true connection, you really have to be in your receiving energy and just allow it to flow naturally. Inspire him to be a better man.
Yeah.
Inspire him to provide for your family, your future, and whatnot, and
Yeah.
push you to do the same.
Okay. And do you see like men today? Do you find that it's harder to find?
Oh, 100%. I feel like there is a spiritual aspect to it. I'm not going to lie. I feel like people have to have good morals and they have to honestly value themselves. And,
Yeah.
you can go to the club and whatnot and live your life and have fun, but it comes down to, are you pursuing your goals? Are you pushing yourself? Are you thinking of your future? Are you surrounding yourself with people who inspire you to be better? What are your friends like? Kind of thing. And I get that, but it just, at the end of the day, I really do want that best friend relationship, and it's hard to find.
Yeah.
It's hard to find.
But don't you think that's just better just to like, if you're saying that all guys cheat and all guys are like,
No, see, I don't believe in that. I feel like if I'm allowing my husband, fiance to cheat on me, I'm settling. I do not want that. I want a relationship where I'm respected, and if the guy's cheating on me, then I'm clearly being disrespected.
But
And
I
I should have enough power to walk away. But that's just
Mhm.
my own experience.
But the guy that you were asking for, 100K, taller than you, status, all that stuff. A man like that's gonna have options,
100%.
and he's gonna exercise those options.
Yep.
And you said that you would settle for something less if a man cheats, or would you still look for a man that's still that high of caliber? Because it's gonna be rinse and repeat constantly and then you don't want to settle, because here's the thing: women don't settle. They either date higher or they're equal, or higher. Most of the time, higher, I would say.
Most of the time.
Yeah. So if you go with a guy that's constantly doing that, isn't it better just to accept it? And sometimes it's better just to turn an eye on it. Like some women just have a hunch, and they're just like, well, you know what? This guy knocks down 80% of the shit I want in a man. Like, I'm just gonna turn a blind eye to it.
Yeah.
I don't know. My friend and I were discussing this, and she was like, if he provides for me and gives me XYZ, then like, I don't think I'd mind it, because she's so focused on her future and being provided for in that way. But I know I'm someone who wants to provide for myself, and I want that equal match, if not greater. So I don't know. I may not be speaking for all the girls here, but I know that if I'm being extremely disrespected by cheating, when you enter a relationship, you make an agreement of, I'm going to be loyal to you. Like, we're going to talk through things and whatnot. I just believe that's definitely not okay, and I'm just not for it. And I would be very upset at myself every day if I knew about it and continued to go on with it. It's like, okay, if you want another woman, then have her. I don't need this. I have other options, and you're free to do as you please.
Okay, fair enough.
Just my perspective.
Fair enough. So let me ask you guys another question. What do you guys think of Toronto men, and what is your issue or pros that you like about Toronto guys? You look like you don't like any Toronto guys, to be honest with you. What's your issue with Toronto men?
Me?
And go into like detail.
It's not that I don't like it. I mean, I guess it's not that I don't like them. I like everyone. So, but like, I'm telling you, like, to be a husband and to be, I feel like city guys, they're all the same. They all have that mentality.
Yeah.
And it's just, for me, it's just like, okay, I could turn the blind eye, like you said. Some of us, like, I will have no problem turning the blind eye. But what city boy most of the time is like really husband material?
Yeah.
Like, I know I like the bad boys.
So you like the drug dealers? Like the gangbangers? No, like the dope boys, like gangbangers.
I do. But at the same time, that's not what, those kind of guys are not going to be husband material for me.
So you like it like you just like it like, as in, like, you don't want to sit with a 9 to 5 type of dude. Like, you want the rapper, like you want like the Chris Browns, the fucking Drakes.
You see that what I want and what I like they don't.
So you like bored, basically.
I don't like boring. I like the bad boys, but I need boring for what I want for my future.
And you're 30, right? You said?
Yeah.
Okay. No, I'm just saying, like,
You know what? 29 turning 30.
29 turning 30. Okay. And so, like, are you finding that, dating those guys that are like 9 to 5, like, it's not ideal for you because it's just they can't keep up with the conversation?
No, can I tell you something? The 9 to 5 guys, they're super good. Like, whatever you want, honey. It's just like they're super plain. Like, I need someone to be like, shut the fuck up. I'm like, yes.
Remember I was saying that yesterday?
Exactly, absolutely.
And
those are the facts.
I need that, because it's just like, okay, it's just like whatever you want. Like, I don't need that. Like, every guy is like that. Like,
You don't want to push over.
like, tell me if I'm wrong. Tell me
See,
I'm wrong.
this
if
is
I
what-
do something.
That's alpha, but that's
See,
alpha. That's what you want as an alpha male.
Yeah.
You don't want a beta. You want an alpha.
The bad boys are always
Yeah.
Well, see, this is what I was saying.
Safe,
This
clearly.
this is what I was
Not to
saying.
enter
The last podcast was that, you know, there was a bunch of girls that have like talked to me before, and they said that like they would go clubbing, and they would tell their man, "Hey, I'm going clubbing," and the man would be like, "Yeah, have fun, all that stuff," and then they would go and they would cheat, and they would have fuck all these different guys, and they wanted a reaction out of him. Like they wanted something like, "Hey, like don't go clubbing, sit your ass down." Like they wanted him to be like, do something like you know, tell me I can't go out, I can't fucking like go this place or go clubbing here or whatever like that is, because they wanted that care that the guy kind of provided. Like it's because I was telling before was that clubbing in general, there's nothing good that comes out of it. It's all bad. Like if you actually honestly think about it, it's all bad. Like there's not a single thing that happens there. Like first of all, the music's too loud, so you can't talk to anyone really. I mean, if you are, then it's just like everyone's just butt fucking everyone like in the club, like dancing and grinding each other. And the second thing is that like it's just a bunch of people who are just drunk, and things happen when you're drunk.
Yeah.
You know, like you know, you can be in a relationship and you can have like 10 shots and you can be doing something that's super stupid. Like there's nothing that good comes out of the club. And in my opinion, any guy that allows his girl to go to the club is just stupid because he's allowing that. And in my opinion, that's probably the worst thing that can actually happen. And I think a lot of guys actually in Toronto, I feel like a lot of guys actually allow it, their girls to go clubbing. I don't think a lot of guys actually will tell their girl like, hey, like, or they have too much trust in them. Maybe I don't know. Like
Well, modern times now.
yeah, but at the same time though, I think women, going back to what I said, women like that factor of like,
Oh,
hey,
fuck
like
yeah.
I'm
The same way
you can't
too.
go out, you can't you know, you have to come home this time or whatever it is. Women like that regulation that men
Not
can provide.
necessarily. I mean, like, yeah, like I get that trait, I guess. Like they want to be dominated in a sense, right? They want to be told, like, yo, like I want to do that. I'm like, okay, daddy,
Yeah.
you know, like something like that. My partner, he was a drug dealer. He did
Like
a bunch
second?
of shit.
Fuck.
What?
You too?
What do you mean? I thought I told you.
Oh my bad, maybe okay, last time, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, he was a drug dealer. I mean, he was a drug dealer. Now he's actually like moving on with his life. He's doing like life coaching and stuff, right? But he has that energy and that dominance that makes me actually feel safe and protected as a woman. You know what I mean? Like that's why I always fall back into these bad boy things because they actually make me feel like I'm secure, I'm safe. I don't have to worry about being out at like. I used to be terrified. Honestly, before I met him, I used to be terrified that going out at like 10 p.m. and like it's dark and I'm going to my car and I'm like scared something might happen. I haven't had that
In
since I've been like.
Mississauga?
I don't live in Mississauga, bro. I live in fucking Toronto.
Yeah, but like
But still,
Okay.
it's literally like yeah, like I've been kidnapped. I've had shit happen to me, right? So like to have somebody like that where like I know he'll fucking do anything for me, like that energy, hottest thing ever.
so why can't you find that in
Like
a
a
man?
good 9 to 5.
Well, okay, wait, but my question is this: is that in that scenario where, like, you know, you feel like you're walking to your car by yourself, if you get kidnapped, regardless, what's the difference between a dope boy and a 9 to 5? Like,
Oh, dope boy's gonna find it. He's gonna know what the fuck happened, and he's gonna be so fucking calculated.
both of them are just gonna use Google Maps and just like, like locate your location,
No.
like,
No.
like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't
9
understand.
to 5 is gonna be like, oh my god, let me call the police.
But I don't
I
understand
think
that.
it's like
Let
a bit
them
of balance. I
handle
mean,
it.
Liam Neeson
Exactly.
wasn't a dope boy. He found his
Yeah.
daughter and his wife. You know? Like,
But like that's what I don't understand is that like you can find that in a man that's like
That's
you know
the comforting thing,
working.
right? Like I get that it's comforting, but then again, no one wants to be comfortable. Like a relationship, you're not gonna continuously grow if you're both comfortable. You're just gonna get fat together, or just like like watch
Yeah, that's
TV
a
all
good point.
day.
That's a
You
good
gotta challenge each other.
So do you feel like maybe it's best to have your woman on like a on? I know men typically put their woman on a pedestal, and I think a lot of women actually don't like that.
I love putting my man on a
No,
pedestal.
but no, I think women actually don't like when you constantly keep praising them or you constantly keep telling them, hey, like you're or like simping over them and all that stuff because I think it gets bored. It gets boring. I think a lot of women actually like chasing the guy.
Oh,
I
fuck
think
yeah,
there's
that's
a
dynamic.
mutual
That's
thing
how
to
it's
it.
gotta work. That's literally
What do
how it
you
has
what
to
do you think,
work.
Emma?
I don't know. I feel like if you'd asked me this 2-3 years ago, I would agree. But now, not so much
In chasing?
in chasing because I know that there was a part of me when I was younger where I did try and chase the guys, and it was enticing, and I wanted that hot and cold pull and whatnot. But it's your like attachment style and your nervous system regulation and all that. It's like when you aren't being triggered by that, you don't want it anymore. You're like, I'm so over this. This doesn't make me feel safe and secure. This is not consistent. This is not helping me. Why am I getting butterflies texting this person? I would always be like, I need butterflies in order for myself to know, like, oh, I should go after this guy. No, the butterflies are just anxiety. You don't want anxiety when you're trying to grow with your life partner. I think it's hard because everyone is at their own stage of what they want, and but I just think reflecting on who you are and what you need and what you value will really aid you in dating who you attract, what you accept.
I would actually disagree because here's the thing. I think anxiety is actually good. And I think you actually want to have anxiety with your partner because it's unknown and it's excitement. And I think the thing is that having that excitement is what carries on with the relationship. Because I think, honestly, truthfully, as many people say it's kind of fucked up, I think women actually like an emotional roller coaster of a relationship. I think women like that up and down constantly. I think women actually enjoy having different emotions to experience through.
Your brain goes after what it's comfortable, what it knows. So if it's not being constantly triggered by repeating patterns that you've experienced all your life, you're going to say, I don't need this. This is boring. I need to go after what it knows, what is comfortable to me. And what is comfortable is, do you love me now? Like, am I good enough now? Are you going to text me back? Oh, you texted me back. I got that validation. You must like me. I won.
Yeah, but
you don't need that.
I'm saying, but here's what I'm saying in general, though. I'm saying that type of excitement is what thrills women. It's that, like, hey, like, I get that validation from this man, a high caliber type of man. And it's like, hey, like, I think all women actually want, truthfully think all women actually want is they all want that guy that every girl wants. I think we all can agree with that. Like,
it is attractive when
like
you
women
see
find
other
it
people having options,
exactly.
And you're like, oh, he wants me. Like, I must mean something. I
Wom-
must be special.
exactly. Women find men women find men taken more attractive. Married men, just because it's like, why is he taken? And like, even if you go to the club, right? If you have a bunch of girls around you, it makes you more attractive because girls just want the same thing as other girls. If you actually honestly think about it like this, there's actually a lot of experiments where if you watch some certain YouTube videos where they'll be rating guys, right? And the guys will come in. The first two girls that set the rating sets the whole entire overall rating. So if the girl's like, hey, he's like a 7, girls will be like, yeah, 7, 8, 7, 8, 7, 8. If girls are like, he's a 2, 3, same thing, 1, 2, 1, 3, 4. Because at the same time, you want the guy that every girl wants. Because if your girl, think about it like this. If you're talking to your girl, okay, and you're like, oh, like, let me see the guy you're dating, right? And you show him, you're like, oh, what the fuck? Like, you're gonna reevaluate it. You're gonna be like, oh, what's wrong with him? Maybe he's not that attractive. Maybe he's not that. You want your girl to be like, oh, damn, like, look what you got, right? Like, that's what you want. So,
I mean,
like, if your girl, you showed your man to your girls, and they're like, well, what the fuck is that? What do you think? What's going to be your reaction?
It comes down to that. In that regard, that's physical attributes. But when you're asking, like,
I'm not talking about physical attributes. Sorry, it could be physical, but it can also be like, let's say.
But the idea of where a lot of women are chasing one particular guy comes down to his confidence.
Yes.
He's confident that he will have multiple options. That's what's pursuing him forward in the dating pool, highlighting himself.
Yeah.
Because a guy who's shy, who's insecure, doesn't really know his own worth, he's not going to be valued like that guy who does know that he has options.
Of course. But I wasn't just talking about looks. I was saying about like all attributes, right? Like the first thing that most women, like when guys ask, like, yo, let me see your girl, they're asking like how she looks, right? Like that's how guys judge.
Yeah.
But when girls ask, they'll be like, what does he do for a living? That's the first thing they usually ask. Or the second question, whatever it is. And like what I'm saying is like overall what I was saying that like most women just want a man that all women want and all women like desire. Like whether it's like, looks, status, money, everything. It's just something that most women want. And that's why honestly like a lot of married guys, like they get a lot of girls. And it's kind of crazy. Like some dudes, I actually know some dudes that actually put a fake wedding ring on when they go clubbing, just because like it might, get them more girls. Like it's actually kind of crazy how some girls, because it's just like, why is he taken? What does that girl have that I don't have? You know what I mean? It's like what makes him so special that he's cuffed? So it's interesting perspective on like how some women kind of think, but yeah. What about you, Ace? What do you think?
I think it's all about balance, man. I think, especially things are so different now. I mean, you look at you asked a question about Toronto mans, right? And the options that are presented to the women today. It all boils down to like, I mean, what women choose to accept, right? So right now, I mean, if you lay down some caviar in front of each and every single one of these women, now that's the norm, right? They're gonna be expecting caviar, like they're gonna, you know what I mean? But if you give them some tilapia, bro, like now they're fucking dealing with tilapia. You know what I mean? The bottom feeder.
Yeah.
So like that's the realm that I live in. I try to be as pragmatic as possible, and in the reality of things, women have just settled for less. And I know this because I've lived long enough.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's just I've seen it. I've seen the transition over and over again. So like to just that's I mean again I'm pro woman. Like I'm all for the women, but it's just like the guys nowadays are just not really doing much. You know what I mean? So the 1% like you talked about. It's literally like so finite. Like the alpha males, the top earners, the top percenters are so finite, and that's why women. And the reality is, most women will accept a man that will go out and cheat and be promiscuous with other women because they literally know unequivocally that they cannot do better.
But let me ask you guys something. Okay, I'm gonna make a statement. I think a lot of women will be like, "There's no good men out there. There's no good men. There's no alpha males. All that stuff." And then they'll point fingers at the men. They'll be like, "It's your fault." But honestly and truthfully, I believe it's actually the women's fault. It's not just certain women. It's actually promiscuous women. Because I'll tell you why. If a woman is like, "Hey, like sex is empowering. I'm gonna sleep with this many guys," and she's sleeping with like dudes that don't deserve her, like dudes that are playing video games in their basement, why would those guys ever want to improve themselves if they're still getting laid? Like think about that, right? Like, why would they ever go to the gym, make more money, all that stuff, make themselves better if they're still getting laid? Because everything guys do is to practically get laid. Like, guys can literally drive the shittiest car and be happy. They can live in a shack and be happy. Like, guys will be happy with very minimalistic things, but we do it because we want status, we want girls, we drive the fastest cars, we have the biggest houses because we do it for women, right? So when people say like, oh, like going back to my point, it's not necessarily the men that are a factor. I honestly believe that a good part of it is promiscuous women, because I think society eggs it on as well, because they'll be like, shake your ass and like twerk and like what's that song where it's like with Drake where like these bunch of little kids are like singing, it's like let your coochie breathe or something like that.
Oh
like,
yeah, Big Red, and Big Red.
Yeah, and like
yeah.
and it's culture like that. And then like the crazy part is that like women as a whole don't even agree to doing that. Like I said before, women will be like, "Oh yeah, girl, have your whole phase, have your hot girl summer phase," but they don't even believe in themselves, and they're giving bad advice. So it's like, why are you egging something on that you don't even believe?
I agree. I think that comes from like revenge, as in like I'll show him like I'm gonna do whatever I want. I'm gonna live my life. Then he'll want me more.
Yeah.
Like, it's so dumb.
And
It's like
and the fucked up part is this: is that like these girls who are banging these guys are like probably, if let's say a girl bangs like 40 dudes, half of them are probably like losers that don't deserve it, and the other halves are dudes that are like high caliber guys that don't even like pay attention to her. So she's just devaluing herself like crazy. So it's just interesting to me that like women will be like, that's misogynistic, that's this, that's that, but like we're giving real advice to you guys. Like we're saying like no guy wants a promiscuous woman, no guy wants it. It's embarrassing. Like a lot of guys who date girls that are promiscuous, like we make fun of them behind their backs. Or honestly, some dudes are savages and they'll actually try like smashing the girl. Like it's kind of crazy how honestly like it really is a reflection upon you and your image in society. And like I don't know if you guys know who like Brittany Rayner is.
Yeah.
The girl that was like, she's
Oh,
like,
the curl-
yeah. So she you know, she's very popular on the internet because she was like, it's baby daddy season. So like, she basically sleeps with high tier athletes and tries getting them pregnant. NBA players, NFL players. And the crazy part, she's like 30 something. She's scoping like 18, 19-year-olds. She's a predator. And like, she's getting knocked up and she's getting like crazy alimony money, like 7, 6, 5, 4 mil, whatever it is. And she's just getting new baby daddies each and every time. And it's kind of fucked up because like, no one actually puts her on blast, and all these women are like, "Yeah, get your bag, girl," like shit like that. I'm just like, what the fuck? Like that's where society has come down to.
Do you also not blame the guys because they're giving in? Like, as a man, do you not know like what
You know
type
what?
of woman like you're dealing with? Like, you have a brain. Like, you gotta be smarter than that. You got that kind of fucking money. Sorry.
I agree. I actually
You do
agree
you
with
know
that.
you
I
know
actually
like
agree.
you got that money. You should know. It's common sense. Like,
You know what it is? You know what it is? It's like, okay, so like, you know, you'll have like rappers who like impregnate like strippers, like you know, like Future and or like, you know, all those like rappers that like impregnate like these girls that they know. But it's like sometimes like, I don't know. I guess strippers are so beautiful, like they're so pretty
They
that
are.
like
They are.
it's like the infatuation, you fall in love with
Yeah,
it, and then
yeah,
you just
yeah.
forget about
It's a fantasy. It's a
it's a
fantasy.
fantasy,
It's
right? It's a
literally a
fantasy that these
fantasy.
guys fall in love with, and then they end up, you know, once they finish, they're like,
They regret it.
they're like, oh fuck, you know, like
Yeah.
you know, there's like a meme, like the SpongeBob meme, like
Yeah,
everybody
yeah.
sitting like with coffee, it's
Post
like,
nut clarity.
yeah,
It's called post nut clarity.
post nut clarity,
Yeah.
and like I think like honestly, it's more like in the moment, like you know, like it's guys think with their dicks for the most part, right? Like guys are not really intelligent, and this is where it comes with like men in general. Like women are better at manipulating, way better in the dating scene, in the relationship scene, in sex, and everything. Like women have that advantage over men because they are the gatekeepers. Like if you think about it, women control if they want to sleep with that guy or not,
Yeah.
right? It's always up to the woman. It's never up to the guy. But this is what I tell the guys all the time, though, to even out the playing field. Once you have sex with a girl, pull back because now you have all the leverage. Because at the end of the day, she gave up what she had, and the guy got what he wanted, right? So now it's really determined on, okay, he has the leverage now because she gave up whatever, and he has this power over her, slight power over her, and he can dictate if he wants to carry on a relationship with her or not.
Yeah, because he has all the leverage.
Do you like when you actually think about it? Who honestly controls the option of having a relationship? The man or the woman?
The guy, for
There
sure.
you go.
But why do you need that power?
Because relationships are all about power trips. It's all about power dynamics. Because when you actually analyze a relationship, there's always gonna be one person loving the other person more. Yeah. It's always how it is. It's always how it's gonna be. And you don't want to be in the position when you love that person too much. You always want to have like pull back because honestly and truthfully.
That's so sad and that's non-authentic to who you are.
But the thing is this. Here's the crazy part. Okay. 80% of divorces are initiated by females. It's not men that are doing it. Men actually, when men love for real. Women don't love for real. Men love for real. Women love opportunistically. It's different. Men love the idea of being in love with you. There's two different things. There's two different things. Okay, so when a man loves you, he loves you personally, and then he also loves the idea of being in love with you.
Can I touch on this for a sec?
Sorry?
Can I touch on that?
Yeah.
Like I think that's a really, really powerful point. And again, going back just on personal experience, have you ever lost a guy that you thought was a terrible mistake because you acted emotionally, you acted based on an emotional response as opposed to a logical, critical thinking response? That's the thing. Women are very emotional beings, right? Instinctive, but highly emotional. I cannot tell you the amount of girls, the countless amount of girls that I've been through. And like we would date for a year, 2 years, whatever, and I'm that nigga. I'm that guy. Like I'm the golden ticket. It's everybody knows that. And the thing is, they will throw it away. I've had to literally coach girls through breaking up with me. I never initiate the breakup. It's crazy, and you could audit me on this. Yeah. I literally had to coach the last girl I broke up with. Well, she broke up when we broke up. She was doing really good for herself. She owned 2 second cups. You know what I mean? I helped her out. I supported her on everything. And you know what I mean? Like again, I'm always for the woman. I'm always a big proponent to women succeeding and, as that dynamic. But because I had a dynamic relationship with my ex and other girls in my life, she just couldn't handle it. Meanwhile, she came into the relationship knowing that that's the type of guy I was, right? Mm-hmm. So after a couple years of her investing her life and investing into me, and like, you know, all the stuff that she like loved and admired about me and the way I kind of live my life, she had to literally settle for less because she had to make a tough decision. I mean, this was tough. Like, this girl had to take like a whole month break to deliberate it and go over like like it was like a whole thing. And then when she finally came to the terms of like actually pulling the trigger, like I had to literally sit there and baby here on the phone. I'm like, listen, it's okay if this is what you like. She was like asking me if it's. I'm like, no, it's okay if you think that this is a decision that you want to make, then yo, it's your decision. Like, I can't make it for you. She wanted me to make the decision. And I cannot tell you the amount of times that I had to literally, and it's like I had to coach her through it. I'm like, you know what? You've had like 35 days to kind of think of this and kind of go through this. And this is like the conclusion you've come up with. You know, you have to decide, is this an educated, like, you know, decision? Or is it just based on emotion, based on your beliefs and how you think things are going right now? So, yeah, I had to literally walk in. She's crying. She's going through the whole motions. So, like, you know, that's the thing. Like, and now that it's over, she regrets it. Because like the next week I was in Spain and I was in like I was doing my thing, traveling the world as usual, and like she's like, you know, hitting me up on the DMs.
Yeah.
Right. So like there's a perfect example, and this is just like I could give you a plethora of them. Like it's just an example of, you know, girl throwing away the golden ticket, the lottery, because of an emotional response. Right.
So what I was gonna add to this, sorry, you can go.
There's an ego attached to it. It's like if you don't say how you're feeling in a vulnerable, authentic way, it's not gonna work. You're gonna blow up. You're gonna say things that you regret, and it's gonna hurt the other person. But if you come to them and you actually talk in that real, honest, as uncomfortable as it is way, that's how you'll get through to the other person and hopefully work things out.
Opening up to women is probably the worst thing you could do as a man.
No, but as a female, like, you should inspire him.
No, but what I'm saying is like opening up to a woman about anything is probably the worst thing guys can do. I think you're actually better off talking to a guy than a woman, because the thing is that when you open up to a woman and you tell her like, you know, what you're going through or whatever like that is, or even if you cry in front of a woman, I promise you the next day she's gonna look at you differently, and she'll probably look at you as less of a man, and that's the truth.
I don't know.
And that's the truth.
That's sad.
And that's absolutely the truth. And the thing is, you might say it's sad, but in your subconscious, it's absolutely 100% true.
Majority of the time, females just want reassurance. They just want that confirmation you still care. That's it. And they sense lack of effort. They sense the energy being withdrawn. So they'll start acting up. They'll start being mean. They'll start pulling away. But that's just like a child pulling a temper tantrum.
Can I just say, if the 2 times I made a man cry, like I was like, damn, like I really made him cry. I looked at him like I'm that powerful.
It's disgusting.
That like I made you cry.
Yeah.
Well,
Like,
it's disgusting, right?
Like I was like, shit.
And like,
That's it.
And the next day, you probably looked at him as less of a
I'm
man.
just like,
Yeah, of
wow.
course.
And then I'm like, I have all the power. Like that. Like I said, you need a man to have like to be in charge,
man.
and like the fact that I made you cry. Then I'm
Yeah.
like, what the hell is this?
No.
I like
Real men
I don't-
cry. I'm sorry.
No, it's not the fact that that men can't cry. I'm
Yeah.
saying that you cry alone, quietly, in the corner.
Like a gentleman.
But like a gentleman, quiet. You don't
Like
cry.
a gentleman.
You don't cry in front of your girl. You don't because here's the thing: is this if
There's a difference between groveling and being like, this
True, that's
really
true.
upset me. Like,
yeah,
I
yeah.
do not F with this. This is not okay what you did. I'm
Yeah,
gonna
they could be
take a
vocal
while.
about it.
they
but
could be
cry.
vocal about it,
yeah,
but
like-
I'm saying you don't have to cry because here's what I'm
Yeah.
trying to say: is this
You can cry. Well, personally, I'm not gonna judge someone if he cries, if he's groveling, if he's begging, if he's idolizing me, just putting all of his worth in my acceptance of him. That's when I'm like, oh no.
But but my question for you is this: if your man is coming to you and not just crying, but let's just say he's like, you know, always complaining, always bitching. He's always like, well, not even bitching half the
I have
time.
a friend who deals with this.
Let's
yeah.
say it's half the time, okay?
Mhm.
Don't you feel insecure in the relationship because you're like, okay, shit, like this guy doesn't have his shit together. I have to be more masculine, step up, fix the problems. Like you want to go to bed knowing that your man took care of everything.
Yeah.
And so that kind of stems with kind of being emotional as well, because complaining all the time, crying all the time,
That's
all-
feminine energy.
that's feminine energy. And that's what I'm trying to say is that if you honestly have you ever seen in a relationship in the past that you've been in as like any of your exes ever cried in front of you?
Yes.
And how did it honestly make you feel?
Sad in
But
that
then,
moment. I'm empathetic.
but then after
honestly.
that though, like, did you not see him in a different light? Like, okay, like a slightly different light.
No. No,
Broken.
no,
I
I
know
was
how-
heartbroken.
yeah.
It was very devastating. Like for a man to put down his walls and to be vulnerable and like men are always competing against other men. Like with their jobs, with their just joking
You want to
bits.
you want to know an actual crazy thing? You can actually ask a bunch of men this. Men, so women will be like, "Oh, I want a vulnerable guy. I want a guy that opens up to you. You know, be emotionally available." Men will do that, and the woman will backstab them in some sort of fight. They'll bring it up. They'll be like, "You fucking pussy," this, that, and you can read online. You can read on Reddit. You can read on any sort of thread. That is the number one thing men say. Like if you go on read the mental health section on like any sort of like web page, they'll be like, "Yeah, I opened up to my wife, and then later on I regretted it because she brought it up in a fight later on. She said like, you're not man enough, you're not this," and it is a continuous thing that occurs with men, and that's why men are like, you know what, I'd rather just hold it in, I'd rather handle it myself, because at the end of the day, once I share it with somebody, I get fucked over. And a lot of men in general, they probably do talk to other men, but men don't have that type of relationship with other men though.
But you
That's
guys
just-
aren't processing your emotions fully. You're just covering them up by going out, drinking, doing whatever, being promiscuous, just to numb that. You're not actually allowing yourself to feel it and accept
Not all
it and
guys.
release
I don't
it.
think
Not
you
all
realize.
guys.
I don't think
Yeah.
you realize how difficult the life of a man really is. It is.
It is,
Like,
and
think
that's
about-
why
think
I'm
about like this.
honoring the fact where a guy can be vulnerable in specific moments.
No, because I'll tell you why. Okay. Every single day of a man's life, you are fixing fucking problems. You think about it like this: your car breaks down, you can't change a tire. You look at your man, you're like, "Fucking do something," and he's like, "I don't know what to do." You're gonna get dry instantly. You're gonna be like, "That's not a man." You have to literally figure out how you're gonna fix it. You have to like Google it. You have to YouTube it. Men will do that until they fix it because we have that type of like priority in ourselves where we're like, okay, you know what? We will fix it. We'll solve something. We will try hours and hours and hours till we figure it out. And that is the life of a man. It's constantly problems. You come to any sort of situation, like let's say in a nucleus household, wife goes to husband for anything. Kids, hey dad, I need help with this. I need help with this. I need help with this. You're constantly fixing everyone else's problems as a man. And that is the life that you have to deal with. So there's no time to be like, okay, I need to be emotional. I need to be like this. Because you're always fucking fixing shit. If you're not the rock, then who else is going to be the rock? That is the life of a man. It's unfair. That's how it is. And I think a lot of men can't accept that today. And that's why it kind of goes back to the whole factor of like why you find that men are more feminine. It's because of that factor.
I feel like if you have a good partner and you can open up to one another, you can help one another through challenging times. But there's a level of continuing to wallow in this self-pity and victimhood. That is the turnoff. That is the feminine energy that's being presented. But I am so for the open, authentic communication. Like there's a time and place for everything. And I get it.
So I got a question. So hold on. When you say like crying, like I mean that's kind of vague. Like what about like, I mean, the environment? What if like you got a call, your grandmother passed away or your aunt passed away, and your girl's with you, and you know what I mean, like, and the dude's like kind of like you know what I mean, like, that's
No, but
different.
I think
Like
it's
that's what I
he's
want
saying
to touch
it, like,
on.
between, I think it's
Right?
like between,
I honestly still believe you go cry.
No, that's
outside.
extreme, bro. That's extreme.
And I think that's the truth when it comes to
That's a little extreme.
no,
Oh,
because
no,
because
because
I don't
if
think you
it's
ever
family,
want no
like,
because
if
I don't
it's
think you
like-
ever want to see your man cry. I think it's honestly hardwired in women where they see a man cry and they instantly think
no, I thought
he's
you were
less of a
talking
masculine.
about like in
That's
an
why I asked.
argument.
That's why I asked the question.
No, I
See,
thought like
that's
in
why I
an
asked that, is that's-
argument. No, like in an argument. But if it's like something happened, like
Tragic.
tragic is just like we're all human. Like anything happened to family, friends. Oh, like you're crying, come cry on my shoulder. Like
Exactly.
that's
And that's the
because,
complexity of a man.
That's
That's
because
the complexity
yeah,
of a
because
man.
that's different. But like if it's like you're crying because I made you cry, like I'll
Yeah,
like
that's-
feel something, but then I'm gonna be like, come on, dude, like suck it up. Like I'm not gonna even cry for you.
What I'm saying though in general is subconsciously, even if a tragic incident like that happens, she'll still look at you as less masculine. I'm telling you the truth. That's just honestly how most women operate. I'm telling you the truth.
Not for the tragic.
Well,
I'll come.
I know some guys that
I'll
will.
come cuddle you.
I know some guys. will step out and they'll cry and then they'll go back in and they'll be like, all right, shit's fine. Like we'll get through this. Like, cause at the end of the day, like that's how.
That
That's just life.
saddens me. Who taught you that? That like growing up with all the masculine presence and whatnot. Yeah, you are taught to be tough and to not show your emotions, and that's how you'll get the most women and whatnot. But that is heartbreaking that you can't be a human and experience human emotion.
It's not that you're experiencing human emotions. I'm saying that you have to experience that shit alone, quietly, peacefully, by yourself as a man. Because you will be judged by others subconsciously. I'm telling you the truth. That's how that's how females are hardwired. It's because, and it goes down to evolution, to be honest with you. That's really what it comes down to. We're not that far from our primal instincts, like how we are when we were, when humans first came into the world, right? Like when you strip everything else, when you go back to how humans are primal stage, we're actually not that far away. Like if you strip like maybe 200, 300, 400 years ago, humans were different. Life was different. Things were tough. People didn't stand for that shit. Like it's biological that most men, just will like most females will see men and they'll see them in a vulnerable state and they'll just think less of them. I honestly believe that most guys, you can ask tons of guys out there, and they will say the same thing. They'll be like, I opened up, I cried, and then somehow it got shot in my face. And that's actually, it is devastating to hear. It is. But that is actually the life of a man. It's not fun. If you wanted a fun life, you should have been born a woman or a kid forever. It's one or the other. Because at the end of the day, a man's life is not fun. And the thing is, I actually want to bring that point up. When women actually compare men, and they think like, oh, men have it amazing, all that stuff. It's only the 1% of men that have everything, that their lives are so amazing. Because women will constantly compare like men to like the 99%. But in what era can you say being a man was actually amazing? Think about it. World War I, World War II, Napoleon, Genghis Khan. You could think of so many different fucking eras. Has there ever been a time where like, I want to be a man? It's been horrible. It's only the 1% of men, the rich men, the ones that are billionaires, millionaires, that women constantly compare to, and they're like, men have this advantage, men have that, men have this. That is the 1% that they are only looking at. They're not looking at the 99%. And I think that's the issue that a lot of females, when they actually analyze men, they think that like men have this ultimate advantage in society, but they actually don't. Most men's lives are pretty fucking miserable. Like, what's your take on that?
I'm not ready to answer yet. You answer.
Men being so miserable?
Well, it's not being miserable. It's just the life of a man is just constant stress. It's just constant
because
worrying.
we're logical creatures, right? You're always gonna be overthinkers. You're always gonna think about how can I solve this? What could I do there? Like it's inevitable. It's literally your biological like thinking process. You can't help it. As for a woman, like, yeah, we want to fix things too, but we're also more of a nurturing process, right? So there's a balance between that.
What's your take on men and just
I think
their lives?
It's sad that they have to compete against one another and they feel this immense pressure to perform in all areas of their life.
Yeah.
And I get it. I have empathy towards them. I think you should empower them and encourage others to come together like women do and empower one another. I think there's a lot of issues in solidarity. That is when the biggest mental health challenges will occur. But if you look at a guy who has tons of friends, who is supported, it's a lot less than somebody who is alone, especially in a man's world. But that's just my opinion of it.
What's your opinion on this?
Yeah, I think that's bullshit, man. I think men these days, especially like men nowadays, they're complete bitches, bro. They have it easy. Like men back in the days you're talking about, they had it hard.
But wait, are you talking about Western world?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah, I'm talking about Western world.
Okay, Western world, yeah, I can agree
They
with
got
you.
it easy, bro. Think about it.
I can agree with you on the
Men
Western
are not miserable, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Like the real, like the OG guys, like the, real men, they had it rough for sure. But that's what made them men, right? For a diamond to be a diamond, it needs to be forged through difficulty. That's what making a man a man. Like your success is bred through hardship, right? And that's why men became men. That's why women looked up to men. That's why we became the force that we were. But now men play video games. Men sit on the computer. Men jerk off. Like, you know what I mean? Like self gratification. Like, you know what I mean? I think I probably jerked off the last time when I was 19. You know what I mean? Like, I'm too busy trying to make money and get bags. You know what I mean? Like, like men don't think like that anymore because these new men, right? These wonder boys, they don't understand the actual complexity of being a man, right? So that's what I think.
But couldn't you also argue with the point where it's like, okay, society puts down masculinity a lot, like someone like Andrew Tate, let's say.
Yeah, I
like
agree.
so, as soon as someone like Andrew Tate comes along, oh, he's misogynistic, he's this, he's that, and then what do you expect? Like, do you not want? Most women want that alpha male. So when someone that masculine comes around, they shoot him down, they cancel him.
Yeah.
So it's like, is that what's your take on that?
I mean, I agree with Andrew Tate. So
Yeah, I'm the same.
That's crazy, right? Like, yeah.
know much on him, to be honest, so I can't
Really?
speak on it. Yeah.
The most
I've
Google
heard-
man on the world?
I've heard about him and I've heard his controversy, but I'm not educated enough to say anything on it.
But my thing is this: is that if that's the point, if men are so suppressed with not being mans anymore because manly anymore, is it not society's fault or females' fault? Because at the same time, I think someone was telling me recently that in South Korea, if you get accused of rape, even though you didn't do it, you're put in jail. So you don't even have to be, like, you don't have to go to trial. You don't have to go to anything. No judge, no any of that shit. You have to basically go to jail until you get in front of a judge. So if I'm like pointing at you like he raped me, they take you to jail. That's it. Done. And that's a first world country, if you think about it. So it's like these guys in South Korea are like, fuck this. I'm not talking no chick. I'm gonna stay in my room and play fucking video games. Why wouldn't I? Because at that point, it's like you're just demasculating men. Like, if you really think about that, imagine you're dating a girl and you dump her, and she's like, yo, she's fucking angry at you. She's calling the cops. This guy raped me. This guy goes to jail. There's so much pressure now and so much risk to even date a girl now in some of these countries. And they think that, like,
it happens in the West too. It happens a lot in the
oh
West
yeah,
world.
guys
It happens a lot.
and
Big
like
time.
there's actually I don't know if you guys recently read about the whole Vince McMahon thing.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Oh, about
yeah.
So like Vince McMahon was if you guys don't know who he is, WWE chairman, right? And he got accused of like doing some pretty disturbing shit to a girl, but like it was all consensual. Like she signed an NDA and everything. Like I think he like shat on her face with that. Like she did some weird shit, and she got paid for it. Okay,
Handsomely.
she got paid handsomely. Like,
Yeah.
like she got paid
She
a
paid-
good
got paid
chunk
well.
of it.
She got paid well.
And the thing is that she signed an NDA, she signed everything, and what happened was he basically this went on for like years. I think it was like a few years afterwards. And she one day was probably like in her bed. She's like, yo, I want more money out of this. So she comes out and she says, he didn't pay me enough. It wasn't consensual. It was some bullshit like that. And now all of a sudden, Vince McMahon is under all this news press about him being
He had to step down from his company, bro.
him stepping down because of all the bad press. And here's the fucked up part: is that I don't think people actually realize this. Is that if one day you get accused of sexual assault, rape, battery, whatever it is, right? Even if you're proven innocent, that will forever stay on you. People will be like, no, he did it. Oh, he had a good lawyer. That's why he got off. No, that guy definitely did it. It's forever.
There's always a stigma.
And
around
the
it.
crazy part is there's no repercussions for the girl. Nothing happens. She lives on her life perfectly fine. And it's kind of crazy that there's no law against accusing someone for rape. I mean, you can go after defamation and all that stuff, but there's no criminal charge for accusing someone for rape. And like,
I think that's every guy's biggest fear.
oh yeah, 100%.
Like it's crazy.
100%, right?
It's really crazy.
And it's honestly crazy. And it's like that's why I was going back to my point where you were originally saying like, men are not that masculine, but it's like, how can you be masculine nowadays if you get fucking ridiculed for it, if you get shamed for it? It's like I too would rather play fucking video games and be safe in my room rather than go to fucking jail.
Yeah, but the safe route's never the best route, bro.
No,
Like,
I
you
get
know
what
I
you're
mean?
saying. I'm saying to men like you
didn't
should
take-
go.
You didn't take the safe route.
No, I didn't. But
I didn't take the safe route.
But what I'm saying though in general though
Yeah.
is I like the process and mindset of some men when they think of that stuff, they're probably like, yo, is it even worth doing it now? Like, I'm just saying, like,
Yeah.
I tell them, like, yeah, you should 100%
And
be the best man
that's
you
sad.
can.
It is.
But
It-
it's just fucked up that, like, you can't even be a man anymore in society. And, like, it's crazy because back in the day, if you approached a girl and be like, hey, you're beautiful, blah, 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 oh, you're cute, can I get your number? It would be, like, acceptable. But now it's like, you do that, it's like, rape, sexual assault, creeper, they'll say shit. It's like you can't even what's crazy? Even calling a girl instead of texting, it's like, whoa, what's wrong with this guy? He's fucking creepy. Like no, but some girls will be like, wow,
there has to be rapport established for sure.
Sorry?
There has to be rapport established for sure. But like, I think that's where it becomes creepy. If the girl doesn't know the guy, why is he calling me? But if you know him well enough, if you hung out with him more than once, then like, yeah, call.
No, I'm saying like, let's say that you picked up a girl's number, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you guys are texting maybe for a day, and then he calls you just because he doesn't want to text. Girls will find that creepy.
But that's because,
I
like,
think the day and age.
would you agree? Like, guys are bots now. Like, they're NPCs. Like, you know what I mean? Like, think about it. In your day, was it ever okay or normal to just send a girl a dick pic? Was that a thing? Like
Normal?
that's the norm now. Like, I mean, and I know this because I know so many women, right? Like you talk to a girl, you pick her up, you get her number, whatever, and then like the third conversation, you're like, wham, here's my dick.
Well,
Here's a dick pic.
Like Drake's dick pic.
Like no, but it's just like yo, you're a straight clown. Like what? Like it doesn't get the girl wet, and it's crazy. How do I know this? Because I know women. Like you sending a girl a dick pic does not get them wet. It doesn't really do anything for them, but just like laugh. Like what is this?
Say that louder.
Like no, but it's true. But that's what I'm saying.
I don't need to see that.
But you'd be amazed the amount of guys that do this. It's just like because they're a non-playable character. They don't understand that like how women work fundamentally.
Yeah.
Like you send a girl a dick pic thinking, oh yeah, she's gonna drool over this, bro. Yeah, I sent her a pic of my hard dick. It's like, nah, bro. Like you made a fool out of yourself. No girl wants a dick pic. No, not nobody in no shape or form. But like you have no game, and guys, but that's the thing. Society created these wannabe men. Like it's ridiculous.
Yeah, my guy friends have no idea of that idea, and it just irks me. They're like, should I send her a pic? I'm like,
But what's the context
What's that
though?
gonna do?
Like, is it like, hey, how's your day going? Then bam, dick pic, or is it like, oh, like I'm so horny, blah blah blah, and then he sends it, right? Like, or like it's got to be context. Like it can't be like I'm eating a banana. He's like, check out this banana.
make like weird loops to the conversation that can go into like innuendos and whatever they can, whatever door openings there will be.
Usually it's on Snapchat. You get a video, you're like, ooh, what are these?
Yeah.
I go, good. Oh, shit.
Like,
yeah, but it's just always unwarranted. Like it's just like
Yeah. Like, what the
how do I know this? And like 90% of the guys out there don't. Like I just feel like it just goes right back to the root of the
swear to
problem.
God.
Men are not men, bro, and it's nobody's fault but ourselves. Like I don't like the fact I'm sick and tired of guys blaming women. Like it's your fault. It's 100% your fault. Like if you can't be a man because of whatever issues that you had, back in my day we weren't playing video games, like my dad would bust my ass. Like you tell me like, you don't have to be here, but you got to do something with yourself. You know what I mean? Like you can't stay here on the PS2 playing games all day. You know what I mean? But now, you know what I mean? Like guys, like gamers are the number one. Like there's more gamers than workers on the planet today. True. Like the population of gamers, bro, it's a staggering number. Like you know what I'm saying? So it's like it just goes back to the fact that men are not taking the traditional path that men like me and you grew up to do. Like we out there, we're doing a job. Like I learned a trade. I know how to build a house from scratch. You know what I mean? Like, but I was also a dope boy. I was also a pimp. I was also a lot of different things. You know what I'm saying? But again, it's just the whole landscape of being a man and being multifaceted. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so, like, yo, when that zombie apocalypse come through, like, yo, guess who's gonna, be the leader of the charge? You gotta be. It goes back to being a leader, right? And that's
I,
what a woman wants.
I definitely agree with you. I've always said it from the beginning. Like the fall is always on like men. Like it's always on men first. Like because at the end of the day, I truthfully believe a woman will be submissive to the right man. I 100% believe that.
Yep.
But I think that it's all fucked up now because now you have men who are acting like women and women who are acting like men, and it's just so fucked up now.
Crazy.
It's like, and it's so deep rooted that you can't even change it now. So it's like that's why people are so disturbed with relationships from both sides.
I gotta add on to Ace too. You know what I literally call that? I call that small penis syndrome. Like literally,
Jeez.
when somebody when a guy does that and they put themselves out there like that,
Yeah.
it's just like shows how
Like
little
what,
minded they are.
dick pics?
Yeah. I call it small penis syndrome because literally you just really need that affirmation.
But would a guy send a small
Literally?
penis? Like,
You
wouldn't
want
he be
validation.
scared?
But-
It's just the mentality.
Yeah, the
That's
mentality,
exactly what
eh?
it is. It's the mentality. That's why I call it small penis
I
syndrome.
have
It's-
never,
You don't have to have a
you know,
small
I've
penis.
never sent a
It's the
dick pic in my
mentality.
entire life.
But hold on,
I've never sent a
my
dick
question
pic,
for you
bro,
guys,
never.
my question for you guys is is it just like out of like I still don't, I'm still not grasping the.
It's a mentality process, right? So that's why you're gonna have a flashy ass car that you can't afford. You're gonna have a bag. You're gonna have like all this money that you can't really like exactly spare.
Well, here's
because
the thing
that's-
about the car situation. I actually think that, honestly, truthfully, I actually believe that when you're young, you should actually buy a very expensive car. And I know people might think it's a bad advice, but honestly and truthfully, you only have one spin on this planet, and you might as well live your life because most guys will want a sports car. And honestly, having a sports car, it actually could lead to possible opportunities. Like, you know, a lot of real estate agents have fancy cars because they think like, oh, like if I pull up in a fucking like Toyota, it's for the clients, right? But I honestly believe that like when you're 19, if you're 21, 23, 24, and you have a Benz, your happiness instantly changes in a foreign car, especially for guys. I'm saying, I don't know about girls, but for guys, it's an instant change. Like, okay, like, yo, I feel like I got my shit together. I'm a boss. Like, maybe I'm gonna go out and make more money because women are looking at me. People are looking at me differently. I actually believe that getting a fancy car is actually a way to kind of push yourself further and further and get yourself higher and higher and higher in terms of.
I get
the
that for a
metric
guy.
skills.
I mean, like with myself, like honestly, I've always had really nice cars before,
Yeah.
and like a Maserati. Okay, so I had a Maserati, I had a Levante. You have to put oil changes every 10K.
Yeah.
It decreases and declines immediately in
Yeah.
value. So if you have, I had a 2018 Levante. So having a 2018 Levante, I literally got it for 60K. If I were to get it brand new, it's literally double that. It's 120. So like, I just saved 60K there just by getting like something that was like a few years older. So what would you say about that then?
So having a car that's
just a few years older, you're literally gonna save double.
Oh no, that's fine.
Right?
I'm saying like if you have like if you don't have to buy a brand new 2023,
Same with Range
2024.
Rovers, they always decrease
Yeah,
in value.
even
right?
going 1 year or 2 years into the thing, it's the same thing because at the end of the day, car manufacturers don't change their production after 4 years in terms of their style and their stuff. So that stuff is fine. But going back to what you were saying about the small dick energy stuff, like what did you mean by like that
Well,
type
basically, it's like like the flashy things. Like you're gonna have things you can't afford, just to prove, or it's like that affirmation that you're so like trying to get that validation in a sense that like okay, like I have this, I have that. Like okay, this girl like thinks I'm like this. So like, I literally call that mentality small penis syndrome because a man's supposed to have this confidence and integrity to them that like they would never do anything like that. Like they would prefer a paid off car. They would prefer to like be like a humble sense of like I'd rather take care of my mom or something like that. Like the way that men kind of hold themselves now where they want that affirmation like okay, like I want an attractive girl to like say something that like certain about me, like that's small penis syndrome. Like that mentality is just
Yeah, it makes sense.
turn off.
I like
you know
that.
you know what I'm gonna
Yeah.
say about this,
like that.
and this is gonna sound super fucking controversial. It's minorities, straight up.
Oh fudge yeah.
It's only minorities.
Yeah.
It's only minorities that
Because
want
they
to.
wanna
They
fit in.
they want to fit in, right? Like
Yeah.
you look at all the fucking white dudes, old mans, Bill Gates. They're not wearing shit. They're not wearing anything. They're not flashing their watch. It's all minorities. Minorities want to act like, hey, like I got this money. They want to act in front of their other friends and stuff like that.
But
and
this is also what it is too. There's a thing called old money and new money.
Mm.
So old money, yeah, they're going to be very transparent in what they do. They don't want to show it off. But then new money is like they're going to have like Gucci everywhere. They're going to be like super bold in their fashion sense. Yeah, they're going to be super bold. Exactly. So
Yeah.
it's not exactly like these like like third world country people coming in and like doing that to fit in necessarily. It's more like it's new money.
Yeah, because they want
The third world country people can't even afford this shit. Like, I mean, like, yeah, I think just feel like everything's upside down. Like, we're just living in a bizarre world. Like, like, it's just third world country people are coming in just trying to seek. Remember, this whole Western civilization is called the land of opportunity.
Yeah.
So when people come here, you know what I mean? Like, they're in search of a better opportunity.
Exactly.
And when they do find it, if they're lucky enough, if they're part of that percentage, like, I'm pretty sure they're not trying to stunt and try to pose on, getting a $40,000 watch or a Gucci and Louis.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They want to get, the first thing they want to do is get their parents or their cousins and their people down here,
They want
right?
stability.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Because, again, it's just, they want, like,
It's a better life.
a better life. Like, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
Especially now in today's society,
Yeah.
like, the world is bleeding out. It's hemorrhaging, right? And everybody that's just like, I mean, look at in every part of the world is always something new where it's like, okay, well, there's a big this past year, there's the war in Ukraine, right? People are running and fleeing because it's crazy. Then now you have the Gaza shit. You know what I mean? It's just like we have to understand, like, everything else is just white noise. It's just a big distraction. So the number one thing should be in literally housing and obtaining the rights to be like, okay, well, I need to find a good alpha male, number one, right? Because a man's gonna hold you down no matter what, right? Especially if you got a good man. Then B, securing some sort of financial solidarity, like, you know what I mean? Like, you need to get secure because when the shit hits the fan, guess what? The only thing you can throw at a problem is cash. That's unequivocal. Like, that's
True.
if when shit hits the fan and you're a businessman, you know that.
It's true.
Like, you can't throw hopes and dreams at it.
Yeah. Yeah.
You need cash. You need
cash.
liquidity, and that's
Liquid.
the only
You need liquid.
right.
Liquid.
Yeah, like,
Yeah.
you can't. And nobody cares about your problems, right? Nobody cares when you go to the bank and you tell them, oh well, yeah, I kind of I bit off too much. I get you.
Yeah,
I
they don't
I have
fuck.
2 houses now, but the third one I'm struggling. They don't care about hearing that story.
Yeah.
Or when you're coming as an immigrant, well, yeah, I want to buy this house because we're trying to find a place to live, and like, you got to pass the stress test. Sorry, back of the line. Nobody gives 2 shits.
Well, that's why I think. I think that's the thing with minorities is that, like, okay, so like when I started like King's Court, like I didn't actually honestly spend a single dime for the first 3-4 years. Like, it didn't make money for the first 3-4 years. If it did, I reinvested back in the business, right? And after that, it took off because I started franchising and started learning how to, like, make more money, right? And the thing is that I think a lot of young people, when they get some sort of money, like whether it's like 10K, 20K, they instantly blow it on, like, name brands and all that type of stuff, because it's the world that we live in terms of capitalism, right? But I honestly, truthfully, I can honestly say that, like, it's primarily mostly minorities. Like it's mostly brown people, black people. Asians have some crazy ass fucking money, so it doesn't matter for them. But, but
they come in with the money. They come in with it.
Yeah, they got their own fucking. So it's primarily like, especially when you see it like in Brampton too. Like, every fucking family has or any dude has a Benz or Bentley, and then like Benz, Bentley, and like they're all on leases, and they're like in like $900,000 payments a month, insurance super high, all that shit, and it's like half their paycheck goes to that. Yeah. And I'm not saying that, like I said before, you should have a sports car, all that stuff. But what I am saying, though, in general, is that they buy stupid shit like clothing, and then they throw it out the next year or couple of months or whatever it is, or they buy designer and it goes out of fashion, or they buy stupid shit that doesn't really like mount to anything. Like they'll buy they
just buy to buy it.
Buy to buy it, right? Like, they don't even need it half the time, right? And I think part of it is due because of the society that we live in today, capitalism, and how it's constant, like, spend as much as you can. And I think that's the issue that a lot of people don't understand. A lot of men, especially, that they try impressing these chicks with like drip.
Small penis syndrome.
And the thing is this, honestly and truthfully, most girls actually don't give a fuck. Like,
Yeah, we
that's actually the
don't.
truth.
We
Like,
don't.
a girl actually cares more about, like, mentality, but also I think most girls actually do kind of care about.
Let's no. Let's fix that, bro. I gotta. Girls do care, bro. Girls do. You know better than that. You know better than that. Girls do care. Let's be honest, guys. Let's be honest. Girls do care. Can we just be honest?
I tell you, the girls will look at the watch They were like, but
Yes.
I mean,
Thank you,
like
but that's
some,
material. That's still
okay, yeah,
that's
they do,
caring.
but like
It's
there's
the
some, like for
lifestyle.
me,
Yeah.
like if I see a guy rocking a Nike tracksuit, I like a nice watch. I'm like shit, you look good,
Yeah,
but don't
yeah.
wear the Gucci because I'm gonna be like, you look so stupid. Like I'm embarrassed for you. Why are you wearing Gucci? If
But-
hold on, because
Yeah.
I know I had a conversation with a successful woman. He said, Jen, if someone really has money, like the plain black T-shirt, if it's Gucci without the logo, if you have money, you know that's a
Exactly.
Gucci shirt without the Gucci label all
Exactly,
over it. He's like
absolutely.
real successful men. The one that has Gucci all over, he's like, they ain't got no money.
And that's probably the only
you know
one
what's-
Gucci shirt that they
you-
have.
You know what's
Like,
actually
that's real.
You know what's
Every
actually
day.
you know what's actually really interesting is that Steve Jobs, if you guys know the guy that made Apple, CEO, but died. He had a turtleneck, and he would wear like a turtleneck, and he would wear like those blue jeans and sneakers,
New Balance.
New Balance sneakers. But what people actually didn't understand is that Steve Jobs' turtleneck was about $3-4 each. They were made from the highest
Really?
material.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Because at the end of the day, if he's not gonna wear something uncomfortable.
Yeah.
So he's gonna wear the best quality
Damn.
that you can find. And that's the thing that people don't understand is that rich people will wear things where it's not in your face. It's very subtle.
Very
Very
subtle,
subtle. It's like you have like dudes now who will fucking get Rolexes and they'll ice it out and they'll ruin the total value
Oh, I
of
hate
it.
that. I hate that.
Whereas,
Oh,
like,
but
you have, like-
I hate that. Is so stupid. Yeah.
Whereas you have guys that are like, you know, who have like Rolexes and they're like so unnoticeable. Like you
Plain
think it's like a
Jane.
Shopper's Drug Mart type of
Yeah,
watch.
it's just a plain,
right?
yeah.
And it's like it's that type of like mentality that people have. And that's the thing is that those type of people when they buy it because like they can't. Not like they can't afford it. They just buy it because like, you know, they like it or they fit their style and it's very subtle, right? When it's in your face, like kind of how like, you know, a lot of young people buy shit like with those logos everywhere, Gucci, Louis Vuitton, all that shit. Like they want plaster all over because, you know, they're screaming out. They want people to know, right?
Yeah.
And what I was saying before is that like, you know, I don't think women care about that, but women do care about things like maybe a nice house, a big house, a nice car, a nice
smart
garden,
investment.
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
a nice
exactly.
like even like a
Smart. There's a
like
difference.
yeah, it's different. Like
Yeah.
like a nice
Because
like,
women do care about that
bigger,
shit.
like a
Yeah.
pool in the backyard,
Yeah.
like that, those things. Women are like, okay, fuck, like this dude has it, like you know what I mean, like has his shit together, doesn't fucking like you know show off his money as much. Like it's just subtle. Like you can just notice by if you honestly you can notice a guy, like a lot of girls actually don't notice this is that like with Benzes especially, a lot of guys will buy C classes and they'll think, and a lot of women will be like, oh my god, look at that nice car.
Yeah,
But
because women
C-
don't know the. Yeah, they don't know
because-
the, it's a trap. Yeah.
CLA or
That's-
an A class.
because
C
you
class
can't
is
do that.
garbage.
because
yo.
C classes, the body is more sexier, so it looks a lot more exotic. But the real boss cars,
Yeah, but
are
if you know that that's trash. You know.
Yeah.
the real
Real
boss
cars.
cars are S classes
Yeah.
and
E
E
classes,
classes.
exactly.
Those two ones because they look like old men type of cars, but they're like in the hundreds of $100,000.
Oh, I know.
And like that's the thing, like all these dudes like they'll buy like fucking like
Just for the body of it.
That's
yeah they'll
CLA.
buy
You can't brag about it. You can't just get like the lowest end of something that's nice. You may as well just get a fucking Honda Civic.
yeah exactly right. And
Get
that's
the
the
best
thing is
Honda
that
Civic.
and that's the thing. I think, like, people rather go broke than you know like than save up money and actually like do something with their life to impress people that don't even give a fuck about them.
But that's again, that goes back to what I've been
Yes,
saying.
small
It's
penis
the guy,
syndrome.
bro. You're literally painting the picture. It's these dudes that are NPCs, bro. Like they literally just Sims in the cog. Like you can't. They're non-playable characters for a reason. Like they literally just stand there, right? And they do this thing. They play this mock-up that they think and they anticipate that women are looking for. But the problem is they don't know what women are looking for because they never really took the time to stop and figure out what a woman really wants, what she needs, and all the things that facilitate what a woman is, right? Like ask yourself one question: who in this room actually could tell you what a woman, what defines a woman? What is a woman? Right? Like these are the questions that you need to ponder because like society would have you believe a woman is anybody that feels feminine. Like, right? Anybody that feels feminine or you know that feels that she's getting her period. What the fuck are you talking about? Right? And that's the society hacks that have kind of ruined the whole thing. And these guys nowadays, they kind of caught up in that, right? They're caught up in that whole thing. So they're going around moving in certain ways, like, and just end up being waste men. And now, you know, these girls play them. You know, women play them because they can wrap them around their finger, and that's just the reality, bro. Like, you know.
Exactly. It's full circle. Like that
Yeah.
small penis syndrome thing. Like, yeah, it's easy to manipulate someone who has like a low mentality. You know what I mean? Like, okay, like you got a little bit of money. Like, oh, look, I'll show you. Like, I'll literally show you how the fuck it's done.
So-
you know?
Usually they have no confidence either.
Yeah.
it's
So
not easy.
I actually want to just go back to one point because you guys are like into dope boys and stuff like that, right? Quick question, like, what do you guys honestly think of the Toronto accent? And like, do you guys honestly?
I don't actually- no.
Do you honestly and truthfully find that to be intellectual and attractive?
No.
Speak up to my.
No.
Okay.
No.
No. The ones that I do, like they're older heads, and they don't talk like that. If I hear someone talk like that, I get the ick.
Yeah,
Number
gross.
one, because that's
I like
not
that,
how
the
like yeah. Because I'm like, ew, why are you talking like that? That's not even proper.
Yeah,
like
no.
you are.
Like, what do you mean, fam? Like, you mean like this?
Yeah,
Like, I can't even do it.
I can't mentally take it.
I can't
Oh
even
my
do it.
god, I'm gonna do like Urban Dictionary like
But-
on my phone all the time. No. I can't live like
I
this.
tried to imitate it, and I was a failure.
But my question is, why do you think they talk like that? And my other question is this: is it on purpose, or is that honestly how they truthfully do talk to their
It's
mom
on
and their dad?
purpose.
Okay.
They don't want to be
in.
understood. They
Yes.
don't want to be heard. They're doing
one
something
like
illegal.
that
You know what I mean?
No one around me talks like that. No. way.
No.
And there's a lot of dudes that are in downtown that talk like Toronto, Scarborough, North York, whatever it is,
Yeah,
that they truly do talk like that, and it's actually kind of
That
mind
makes me
blowing.
cringe.
It's actually kind of mind blowing because I'm just like, because inherently, like I would obviously like with starting King's Court and all that stuff. These dudes play ball all the time, right? And like, you know, they would be like saying all these lingos. I'd be like, what the fuck you saying? And it's just mind blowing to me because like I see what they say and like I'm just like shocked because if they ever go in the business world and they go to like investors and they go to like dudes who are like
Wrecked.
white
They'll
men
be wrecked. They'll be
and,
washed.
and honestly, the thing is, like, a lot of young men today, and like, I see it in Brampton, I see it in, like, even Brampton has its own fucking dirty ass, like, accent, too, right?
It's
And, like,
disgusting.
and it's mind blowing to me because, like, they'll be, like, asking me, like, how did you, start your own business and all that stuff? I'm like, dude, like, don't talk like that. I'm like, that's the first thing because if you cater to people who are like in their 50s 40s and stuff like that, like you need to present yourself in a way where like you can actually have an intellectual conversation with them. And like I think honestly, if you continuously talk like that, that actually might slip up in the
environment that they're in, right?
in the
So
conversation
they're
that you could have with them, right?
Yeah.
And it's just mind blowing to me because it's so like unintelligent.
Yeah, so basically, if their environment is people who also speak in those terms, they're literally going to keep talking like that. They don't have this off and on button where they're able to switch up, right? That's their environment. That's what they know. But like with my partner, it's like he says fudge instead of fuck. Because I always say fudge, yeah. And I say
okay.
holy moly, and I try to like say all these like words so I like don't swear, and like he picks up on it, and like he'll start saying it too. Like
Yeah.
it's inevitable. It's all an environment.
Yeah, and
So-
and is it like because originally I thought it was like maybe like dudes that were like saying that shit from the ghetto, but like dude, yeah, people saying that in fucking Castlemore in $3-4 million houses, dudes will be like speaking in that lingo, and I'm like, I just don't understand what the whole appeal of being like all these dudes will be like, oh, I started from the bottom, all that stuff. Like I actually don't understand the appeal of acting like you're poor. Like
It's
when,
fascinating,
like
yeah.
when was it
Rappers
cool?
sing about it. That's
Like-
all
It's
they-
crazy.
Like when
all
was
they
it
hear in the
cool?
songs.
Like when was it cool
They want
to?
to relate to them.
But like when was it cool to act poor? Like when was it ever cool to act poor?
'Cause
Like
people literally want to talk about their come up.
Like, I wanna
You know
be,
what I mean?
like-
emphasize more on their come up. Like, okay, this is where I'm at right now. This is what I'm doing. But
like when
yeah,
I was a kid, I wanted to be Richie Rich, like the fucking
yeah.
the kid that had the
Like,
Mc-
yeah,
the
yeah.
kid that had the
Oh,
McDonald's in the
big
fucking
time.
house.
Big time.
Like that's what I fucking dreamed about. I didn't want to be
Trust
that
me,
that ghetto
that's what I
kid,
wanted to
like
do too. I was
saying
like,
up from the trenches. Like I came from fucking Mississauga.
Oh,
I
God.
always have a seat like that. I'm like, yo, this is.
And it's just mind blowing to
Role
me,
model.
and it's just mind blowing to me because I'm like, wow, like what's wrong with these kids? Like, when is it? It's so fucked up because even I was saying before, like kids who are druggies are praised now. Like people
that are doing
like
drugs?
kids who do drugs. Like, it's so cool to do drugs, but like I'm not talking about weed. I'm talking about like the hard shit, like OxyContin and like lean, all
It all
that shit, right?
circles back to
And it's
environment.
kind of mind blowing because in the 2000s, if you were doing that shit, people were like, well, what the fuck is wrong with this guy? like you'd be made fun of, but now it's like you're praised, and it's weird because even being depressed, you're praised. It's just mind blowing to me how corrupt the youth is because a lot of it does come from pop culture. A lot of it does come from music. A lot of it does come from that sort of influence. but have a mind of your own. You know what I mean? Like you can make proper decisions. Like why go through the path that like all these rappers are going? And these guys are not even doing that shit, man. Like these guys are not depressed. You're not fucking making depressed music because you're actually depressed. You're making it for money,
Yeah.
right? And like I just can't believe people are such like you said, NPCs, like they don't have a mind of their fucking own. Like are they
This
really
is literally
believing?
the
It's
thing.
fascinating. It's actually fascinating.
Yeah,
if
you need
if
to be
study it.
shamed. And this is what honestly structures somebody's shame in a sense. You know what I mean? So like your environment, you're so cute, thank you. So like your environment, like being structured, like if somebody says no to you and they challenge you and you don't get that challenge or that, you know, like that residual back, they're like, okay, well, I can still do whatever I want, fuck you. You know what I mean? Like you have to be challenged. You have to be like negotiated into a way to be like, okay, like understand why I cannot do this and have that value intimated in me. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like, I guess, like, honestly, in the next 20 years, kids nowadays, the way that they're going to go, like, I was saying this yesterday too, like, when I went to Square One, I went to Square One yesterday, and it was a bunch of, like, teenagers that just had no etiquette. Like, they didn't know how to present themselves in public. The way
But
that
is
they
it all
spoke,
teenagers though?
I don't know, not necessarily.
Like when you were a
'cause
teenager,
honestly,
weren't you
Yeah.
a douchebag when you were a teenager?
No, not
Oh,
like that.
alright.
You have some form of etiquette
No,
to you.
no, I wasn't.
literally,
I
yeah.
wasn't a douchebag. I was just a.
No, but
I was
like,
on the computer a lot.
It was
but, like,
all over. Like it wasn't even like 1-2 people. It was just like I've probably seen like maybe like 50.
Yeah.
It was really and they're all were the same. They
It's because
all
you know why?
literally-
You know why?
Social
Yeah.
media, they're
No.
mimicking what
It's a
they
paradigm
It's not
shift.
that.
It's a
Oh,
paradigm
it's not
shift,
that.
guys. It's-
Truthfully, honestly, what it is like parents can't beat their kids.
I'm telling you, it's the
Like
challenge.
no.
Yeah, that's
Honestly,
true.
always the challenge
honestly,
that's
honestly,
frustrating.
He's
truthfully,
right. He's right. He's right.
I'm not even joking with you. When I was a kid and I grabbed a chocolate bar, my mom would give me this look, and it's like, "Yo, you're gonna get your ass beat. I
Yeah.
can't beat you in food basics, but watch when we get home."
Yeah.
And I'd be like, "Fuck!" like, I hope she fucking forgets, but she
I
never
know, right?
forgot. She never forgot.
That's the thing. You need to be challenged. You need to say no. You
But
need
like
to
now,
need that.
but now it's like you touch a kid, it's like child services. You
Yeah.
can't
That's
do
the
anything
thing,
to
they
a
have
kid.
no structure now.
No
There's
structure,
literally
yeah.
no structural environment because they're allowed to do whatever they want, and that's why their etiquette has decreased so much, and their value has decreased so much that they're able to actually get away with certain things. Like, oh, like I'll just go on disability for a disability I don't even have. Like, it's gotten to that point where it's like
Yeah.
I'm gonna victimize myself so hardcore. Because of my circumstances that I grew up with, you're going to continuously hold on to that victimization instead of taking accountability and changing your life.
Yeah.
They don't do that.
Yeah.
They won't even think about doing that.
Because they're like if you actually also watch like how like some TikToks or Twitter or whatever
I
that
don't
is.
have any of that.
But if you watch some of the things that like kids are saying to teachers too, it's kind of fucking mind blowing. If you ever actually talk to a teacher here, they'll be like,
It's
"Yo, kids are
respect, right?
fucked. Like kids do not
Yeah.
respect you at all. Like, and you can't do anything. Like when I was in middle school, like my teachers like they wouldn't like put a hand on you, but they would like rock your chair if you would do something like stupid, right?
yeah.
And that would like rattle you a little bit, right? Now, man, if you do that, that's it. You're not only are you getting fired, but you're getting charges too. You can't even speak up. You can't
You're
even yell
canceled.
as
You can't,
at a kid
yeah.
now. Like you can't be like,
How do you gain your respect?
there's no discipline,
Yeah.
right? There's no fear. There's no fear. And like I think truthfully, you need fear because that's the only way you kind of keep people in line is fear.
That's literally full circle, bringing back to like the Bible, the Quran.
Yeah.
That's accountability. Everything that's in there is literally how you should live your life in a certain way, right?
Yeah.
It's the morality, it's the integrity. That's how it's like, how you're able to be like a person with like certain traits that survive in the world.
But they say that like if you talk to a lot of modern day parents, they'll be like, the way to fix it is to love them more. But I'm like,
I agree with that, and I know it's like so foo-foo, but like I remember when I was a camp counselor many years ago, there was this problematic child, and there was another male camp counselor, and he would give him write-ups and tell his dad and say your child is misbehaving and causing all this chaos. But when I took the time to sit with him and to like ask him, oh, what superhero are you drawing? And oh, those are really cool shoes. He became my number one little helper, my supporter. He felt seen, he felt heard, so he didn't have to rebel. That's what a child does. They pull temper tantrums when they're not getting seen or they're missing something.
Straight up, kids hold on to the smallest things.
But
You know what I mean? Like
it's
with all the love and effort.
attention.
Yeah, appreciation.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And when they feel seen and appreciated, then they'll be like, wait, somebody sees me. Like, I want more
Their
of
mentality
that.
changes.
They
Exactly.
completely change.
I don't know.
used to have
It's a structure.
that mentality too of like, oh, like, child, like, please relax. But then once I dealt with that kid, it changed my perspective.
I don't know. When I wanted attention, my mom would whip out the wooden spoon and she'd be like, "I'll give you
Yeah,
fucking attention."
no, but, like-
And you know what? I turned out good. So
No, but I honestly
it worked
think
out.
at the same time, like, I don't, like, for me growing up Middle Eastern, like, my parents never showed us any love, but, like, they were just like, no is no. Like, when they said something, we're doing it. There's no question. We're in church, we're talking, grabbing us to twisting it. We're just listening to her because that's how you said the fear. We do something, we're getting slapped. We're getting the hair pulled. But again, look at us. We turned out fine. These people are soft. At the end of the day, I think people are just spoiling their kids. They're not disciplining them properly. Which is why the generation now is getting more and more fucked up, and it's not the way it used to be back in the day. It's all completely different, night and day.
True.
I
But
don't know. I feel like that's reestablishing attachment theories. Like, you're just telling the person to grow up with, oh, like, if something is really meaningful, if they truly care about me, if I am told not to do something, I really know when there's fear involved. I don't know. I do agree with the whole discipline thing. Like, no is no. I think you should be firm with that. But I do think that when you're bringing in fear to the situation, you're just going to rewire your brain to go after those same scenarios.
but wait, let's say
with different
wait. So
people.
in terms of different people, so are you saying like let's say
In relationships especially.
so let's say I act out as a kid, like I'm like screaming, I'm saying fuck you teacher, all
Because
that stuff.
why?
Because
Why is my question?
because my mom and dad are working and they don't have time for me, but that's like normal.
That's what you do.
That's normal in my
Yeah.
opinion.
Very
And so
common.
they go and they watch it on Netflix or YouTube, TikTok. They start watching shit when they're like 5, 6, 7 years old, and they start thinking like, okay, like maybe this is how I should talk to people. That when they remember I was telling you about that that video with Sexy Red, the coochie breed thing. It was a bunch of kids who were fucking dancing and they were singing it, and like kids are inheriting that, and these kids are like 5, 6 years old, and like that's what I'm saying is that if that's what you're like if that's what you're inhaling, then that's kind of what you will be, right? Especially at that age, with those primal ages from 1 to 6,
Yeah.
like that's kind of what you're consuming, right? So my thing is this: is that at the end of the day, both parents have to work today. That's just how it is, right? You can't give the kid all the fucking attention. My thing was that like that's why it was kind of important to have maybe a mother at home, especially because like you can get that attention. But now it's kind of fucked up because now what he was saying, just how the world is. You have to have two parent income, right?
Yeah, you can't
So
have one.
that's what I'm saying. Like a lot of kids are fucked up today, and maybe because they're missing that discipline, like she was saying, and maybe a little bit beats.
Yeah, it makes a difference.
That's what I think.
I honestly, I believe it's not like beating them to the point, but it's just like the point you're like, shit, like my mom finds that she can beat, like that fear, because it's gonna make you not do what you weren't supposed to do.
What's your final take on this before we end the podcast?
What on the
Beating your kids?
The beat downs? Yeah, I mean, I think it's
Okay, let's
and
don't say beating, like hitting them, like it just
yeah,
like really
yo,
just
man, it
sounds
was beat
so
downs for me,
hardcore.
man. It was.
What
straight
did you
beat
get?
downs
Like the
for me.
wooden spoon, belt?
I got the cable wire. I got the switch. I got the
Wait,
the
the
weight
switch?
training.
What do you mean by the switch?
Oh, you don't know what a switch is? A switch is when you break a branch off a tree. That's a switch.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I got all forms of discipline, man. Like I mean, like the weight training belt.
Yo,
like,
you know what?
Like you know what I mean? Like
You know what's crazy?
It was
You know what's
hardcore.
crazy? And like, my sister knows the story, and she's regular there. One time I was at Food Basics, right? And I was like fucking annoying my mom for a pumpkin. I was annoying her. Like, I want a fucking pumpkin so bad, right? And she was just, I don't know what was off with her that day, right? And then we went grocery shopping as a family, and we were all together, right? And I'm asking for a pumpkin, and she just fucking just John Jones me UFC straight to the face, a full punch. It looked like it was going for a slap. I was like, okay, I'll take it, and then bam, turned into a rocket punch.
Wow.
And it wasn't even the punch that kind of like hurt the most. It was the embarrassment because the whole store watched, and then my whole entire family just dispersed to different aisles. Everyone was just a different aisle. My dad was a fucking vegetarian, but he was looking at meat. Like it was just like I never asked for a pumpkin after that though. So there you go.
Okay, so I'll answer your question, bro.
Yeah.
Like my whole take on it, like I'm a very analytical person, and I always go back to first principles. So when you look at the fear and love tactic, fear always wins. Like, I mean, if you just look at the numbers, look at the stats, look at the statistics, if you instill fear based in a controlled environment, we're not talking about abuse here, right? If you instill fear into the child, like if you instill some sort of healthy fear in a controlled environment that, hey, you're not supposed to do this, you're not going to go do this, you're going to respect the family name, you're going to live up to certain expectations. You didn't have all these rapid shooters. You didn't have all these school shootings. You didn't have all these radicals going out and do stuff, because at the end of the day, the not only the disrespect that you would bring to the family name, right? Not only that, but the shame that comes with it. And just knowing that, oh, not only am I going to get arrested, when I get out of the jail, my mom and dad are going to kill me. You know what I mean? Like that type of fear. And it's worked. It's worked for decades.
Yeah.
Right? But I mean, look at what happened after you pull that away. You pull that out of society, and then boom, you have school shooters, you have crime rate through the yin yang. You have all kinds of crazy recklessness. Because again, there's no accountability, there's no family structure, and there's no fear from the home base. Like, you can't expect the police to do that for you. There's no fear from the home base, so that kid is gonna literally grow up dreaming of Mad Max. Like, you know what I mean? It's Thunderdome. Yeah. It's Thunderdome. That kid's gonna be completely radical. You know what I'm saying?
And he's just gonna do
and
that's
what I think. Because I mean, you went through it, and you just go through the list of people like I got drilled. I was a problem child. Yeah. I was a problem, and I take care of my parents as a fact, because I feel like I'm personally responsible for my poor mom and dad. You know what I mean? So like I feel I literally take care of them in their old age, but you know, it's because they literally, my dad was a scholar. He was a professor. And, you know, my mom was a hard worker. She had 2 jobs. And she broke her back getting me here from a third world country where I ate 3 times a week. Like, you know what I mean? So for me to come here and, you know, literally give them nothing but pain and grief, I paid the price for that, right?
Yeah.
And then it molded me into a better individual, I think, personally. So, like I said, as long as I feel like you have that controlled environment where the kid is, you know, is disciplined in such a way, such a fashion that they know that, hey, you know what? If I do this, not only this is going to be the consequences by law, but the ripple effect into the family chain. Like, you know, my mom's gonna kill me, my dad's gonna beat me. Like, I ain't down for that. That's just too much. Yeah. The juice ain't worth the squeeze.
True.
And that's it. Yeah. That's what I think.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. Okay. I think we're gonna end things here, guys. Hope you guys had fun on the podcast. Yeah. Hope you learned a lot of things, and hopefully you guys come back on it.
Yes.